Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Shifafti Karina with class student ID 004. Now I'm from class 4A, so now I want to retell you guys a novel from my novel review. The title is The Suspect by Misha Robotham. So, The Suspect by Misha Robotham was telling a story about John O'Loughlin as a psychologist that play an important role in this novel. And he became a successful clinical psychologist who became unexpectedly involved in a murder investigation. So the story began when John tried to help or tried to rescue a young man that tried to suicide himself by falling from, if I'm not wrong, if it's about 4 floor from a high building. So John came to him and he guessed the psychologist's pattern. That's why this young man tried to suicide himself. And from that agenda or from that tragedy, John was become a popular psychologist that really important in psychologist peoples. After that tragedy, at the moment when John came as a guest in some party that was created by his friend, suddenly a detective come to him and said, "Yo, John, I need your help." So John was like, why you need my help? So this detective named Ruiz want a help from John because there's a murder case that young woman was died, and this detective or Ruiz want a help from John by looking from the psychologist pattern, because we know that some criminal can be suggest from a psychologist side, right, to help find the suspect of these murders. And then after they came together, Ruiz and John come to the place where this young woman was died. John finds out that this woman was his previous patient. Her name is Catherine Mamsie Bright. So we flashback first at long time ago. So Catherine was ever become a psychologist patient of John, and she was like a good she was like a good patient of John. And then when he finds out that the rumor said that Catherine was trying to suicide herself, but John was like, no, Catherine never do that. She is a good woman that I ever know. So at first Joseph, or I'm sorry, so the main character is Joseph. So the Joseph sees that a case as a professional challenge, not as a previous patient and doctors in that case. And he was shocked that as he learned more about her life, about Catherine's life, he realized that she had many secrets and connections that makes the investigation increasingly complicated. And then when Joseph finds out that the woman is Catherine, he didn't tell Ruiz immediately that, oh, I know this I'm sorry, I know this body, she's my previous patient, her name is Catherine. No, Joseph didn't tell the truth about Catherine to Ruiz. And then when Ruiz finds out that Joseph and Catherine had some connection between them, Ruiz was like, Joseph, why you didn't tell me earlier about Catherine? Why you keep secret on me? And then but when Joseph tried to clear out about Catherine, the rumors keep coming to Joseph and Ruiz. The rumor said that Um, the murders of Catherine also can be involved by a popular psychologist. So at that time, because Joseph was like a popular psychologist because his action before. So Ruiz was like, "Are you sure, Joseph, you are not the killer of Catherine?" And Joseph was like, "Yeah, I didn't know about her anymore. He was my previous patient, but after that catch a we didn't catch a chat or we didn't have a conversation." But then because of the rumors, Ruiz also becomes suspicious to Joseph because maybe he didn't tell the truth about that case. But then Joseph tried to convince Ruiz that uh, give me some times to prove that I'm not the murders of Catherine. So when Joseph continued his investigation about who is the real murderer of Catherine, because um, he become a suspect at first, so he want to prove to everyone that he was not the murderer of Catherine. When he continues to investigate the Catherine murder case, Joseph discovers a connection between the murders and Bobby Moran. So Bobby Moran is also Joseph's previous patient with Catherine also. And then they were like having a same time to become patient of Joseph. As his former patient, Joseph began to investigate Bobby, uh, and Joseph even went to Liverpool, where Bobby lived and born, to investigate about Bobby's background, why, and he want to prove his feeling about Bobby. So, through old records and personal testimonies, Joseph uncovers that a tragic history of childhood abuse, neglect, and trauma of Bobby Moran. Joseph gradually realized that Bobby's painful experience have shaped his personality and influenced many of his actions as an adult. And also, if I remember that, um, Bobby ever once said that how you feeling when your childhood, when your life never got easy because your family abandoned you, you never have a friend, so your life is ruined. So what did I do? What did I do for a living? And then as more secrets are revealed, Joseph processed together and connection between Bobby Moran and Catherine. So, as I conclude that Bobby had something that connect her to Bobby parents and family, if I'm not wrong. So, Bobby wants to like kill Catherine because he react that Catherine was one of the reason that he live in that situation, in that bad situation. So he discovered that murder are not random crimes but are linked between Bobby's desire for revenge against people that connect to his traumatic past. As the investigation becomes increasingly dangerous as Joseph races to uncover a complete truth before more lives are harmed, before more soul and more people are harmed by Bobby. So in the end, Joseph finally understands Bobby's pattern. Why did he try to kill everyone that connect to his past? And the motive that confront to reality behind the murders. As the truth about the case exposed and the real killer is identified, John was not longer become a suspect of this murder case, and the accusation against him are removed. Although justice as ultimate serve, and Joseph learned something that you don't have to judge people from their look, but you have to know that from his background and why did they become like this, or why suddenly their action become weird and changed. So at the end, Joseph was removed from all the suspect of Catherine murders, and Bobby was arise, and Bobby was become a real murderer of this case. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you for your watching and attention. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.